at the end, Legs.
Yeah, you know where the ball's going. Westbrook's fouled out of the game, and you're going to run a simple pin down action in the middle of the floor. A lot of space there. Paul George came off to his credit, recognized he had space, and was ready to shoot it as he caught it.
So the Sixers think they have a win. They watch it slip through, 117-115. Paul George, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. None bigger than the 4 at the end of the game and a 4-point play. Legler, how does that happen at the end of the game when we know Westbrook's fouled out, you know Paul George is the only other option?
Well, it's called the anatomy, right, of a sideline out of bounds play and how you win a game. And Paul George made the right read. It's a really well-designed play. What you're trying to do is create space at the top of the key. You do that by running a couple of shooters to the opposite corners. I think it starts when you look at J.J. Redick. Every team has an option where you're going to put this guy. They decide they're going to take away the corner pass or the post pass, which means the top is going to be wide open. So you run this action here. This is all just a decoy. The key is the screen, right? Steven Adams is a wide guy. Jimmy Butler has to run around this thing. And you see the angle Paul George takes, call this a banana cut. He shapes it so that he comes toward the pass. There's no way Jimmy Butler, having to avoid that Steven Adams screen, is going to be able to get there. The only question is Paul George going to catch it and then operate in a one-on-one position? Or is he going to catch it with his feet set, shoulders square, so he can unload? And that's exactly what he did. And most shooters, you have a good sense. If you've created space as you're coming off, you usually can feel it. If the guy is not near you, you know you should catch the basketball with your feet planted, ready to shoot because you've got a little bit of time. Obviously, he gets the look, and then Jimmy Butler to compound that, fouls him on the three-point shot. I think 6 or 7 different times in that game, guys got fouled on three-point shots. It's amazing how that's such a different part of our game now. That was the cardinal sin growing up, right? Never foul a three-point shooter. You see 5 or 6 of those a game now. It's unbelievable, and that one, obviously, a big one. And the Oklahoma City Thunder winning games, I really think they deserve to win because they outplayed Philly most of the night.
Okay, so the Sixers thought that they were going to win. So did the Lakers, but then the Rockets overcome a 21-point deficit off James Harden's 48 points. He has 163 unassisted points in his last 3 games. And I can't tell if that's a good or a bad thing, Legs.
Well, it goes against everything that you think good basketball is, right? Because we constantly talk about ball movement and promote that. They play a different way. So my answer to that would be it's a necessary way to play for this team. James Harden is not a guy that's going to move a lot without the ball. I mean, when's the last time you saw James Harden make a back cut for a layup? It's not going to happen. He wants to play with the ball in his hands. It's an absurd statistic to think that someone can score 163 points, and at no point does someone just pass you the ball and you shot it, whether that's on the break, on a layup, obviously off a catch and shoot if someone else drew attention. But James Harden's out there playing with a lot of role players right now that aren't capable of creating offense. So he's going to go do it himself, and that's how he's scoring right now. So it's worked for them. He has single-handedly gotten the Rockets back into playoff contention with the start that they had in the injuries.
A lot of Legler's game, we saw it in L's highlight, the step-back 3. You don't really need an assist to that. You just need space and footwork. Harden's got both. Legler with us all morning on SportsCenter. Thank you, sir.
Got it.
You guys, it's Championship Sunday.
Sure
in the NFL, right, baby? The Saints hosting the Rams in the NFC Championship game. It's going to be tough for LA. New Orleans has never lost at home under Sean Payton. They've won 7 straight home playoff games overall. That's the 3rd longest active streak in the NFL, behind only the Seahawks and the Patriots. If you're wondering what Vegas has to say, we'll get to that in just a minute. But let's do a little bit of a flashback. The only other time the Saints hosted a conference title game back in 2009 against the Vikings. Remember Tracy Porter and that big interception late in the 4th quarter off Brett Favre? New Orleans marched down the field in OT, won on a field goal. Here's Doug Kazarian.
3 is the most key number in football betting, so grabbing 3.5 with LA makes a ton of sense, and that's where the consensus smart money is. For whatever reason, New Orleans just doesn't look like the same team that covered 9 straight during the regular season. In fact, they failed to cover the last 4, while LA has covered 3 straight.
All right, thank you, Doug. Joined now by our Super Bowl champ, Jeff Saturday. Let's talk about the Rams. They rushed for a postseason franchise record 273 yards last week. How did they do it again today?
Yeah, I think inside zone run. What does that mean? That means front side A-gap to backside, guard, center, guard. They took apart the Dallas Cowboys, who had a good defensive game plan. And watch what I'm talking about. The front 3 side, these are back cuts. So watch as the ball is going to press forward to the left side. Look at the backside. Look at the vision that Anderson uses as he presses front side, bends it back, gets downhill. Now, Good design. Higsby's going to come across on the end around, but look again at the backside cutoff. As Gurley presses forward, everybody's biting front side. Whitworth does a great job getting up on the safety on the second level. All of a sudden, Gurley goes for 35. It's the window dressing. It's all the little extras that Sean McVay puts on this run game. It's not just going to be simple, hey, we're going to run it at you. We're going to show you a bunch of different looks, and can the Saints, without Rankins, be able to stop that downhill run game? It's going to be a tough day.
We discussed this in the back. Discuss it for the people. Who wins and why?
I'm going Saints because of home field advantage. I think when you're playing in the Dome, the Saints defense can get the jump on you. And then when you flip it over, I think Kamara and I think Ingram both will have an advantage running against the Rams. I know they showed up big last week. I think they can run at them. Ultimately, I think the Saints get them in a tight one.
Okay.
C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson. He's come on.
All buying in.
Listen,
huh?
hey, listen, I'm a Broncos fan. I know what he can do in the postseason,
He can make it happen,
he can make it happen. Tom Brady as a dog, that's coming up. You'll preview the AFC Championship.
Ready to rock.
Pick there, too.
Yeah, the underdog Patriots.
Who knew?
Everybody hates it.
UFC on ESPN Plus. Greg Hardy making his UFC debut. This guy taking on Alan Crowder.
Already?
A second round,
Wow.
Crowder talking trash to Hardy and lands a couple shots. Moments later, I want you to watch this as Crowder has a knee on the mat and Hardy throws a knee to his head. That is illegal.
Really?
According to the unified rules of MMA, kneeing and or kicking the head of a grounded opponent is an illegal strike. Have another look. Crowder's knee clearly down. You know, in football, knees down of anyone.
Play over.
Hardy, you think, would get this. But he knees him illegally in the head. Crowder unable to continue. Hardy loses via disqualification because the knee rule break against Crowder.
With a belt on the line, should this ref have stepped in? Dana White on what he thought of the main event being called after only 30 seconds. Plus, outmaneuvering defenders to hit the game winner. Buddy Hield celebrating his shot with a run straight off the court. This one and the rest of the top plays coming a little later.